Ready or not two, here I come. The film picks up immediately at the end of the last one, where police arrive at the burning Les Domas mansion and find Grace sitting outside the steps, having a cigarette. She starts to have a panic attack and passes out, leading to the medics taking her to the hospital. Grace wakes up handcuffed to her bed and is met by Detective Bassett, who questions her about the fire and the fact that they found the bodies of Daniel and Becky amidst the remains of the house. And they know the blood on her wedding dress wasn't hers. Grace is then met by her emergency contact, her estranged sister, Faith McCauley, who hasn't spoken to Grace in 7 years. She explains everything to Faith about what happened with the La Damasis and how she survived the night. Faith seems shaken by Grace's trauma, but doesn't believe the cult stuff. The ailing Chester Danforth learns about the La Damas family's demise and Grace's survival. He sends a text to other families that were part of the same Satanist cult council that the Les Domases were formerly in charge of. They include Ignacio El Caido, Juan Chen Xing, brothers Madhu and Viraj Rajan, and Bill Wilkinson. Chester's twin children, Ursula and Titus, are summoned, but they are displeased to know that the seat of power is up for grabs when they think it should go directly to them. Chester is insistent that these are LaBelle's rules. Ursula and Titus respond by smothering Chester to death with a pillow and then gathering the other families together. Basket is taking Grace into custody for questioning until Bill emerges and throws a knife into his neck, killing him. Grace and Faith make a run for it, with Grace taking Basket's gun off his corpse. Bill attacks and tries to kill Grace himself to claim his new power, but he explodes into bloody chunks, which freaks Faith out. The other goons show up and gas the sisters to knock them out, while pointing out that Bill trying to kill Grace before the game has begun is against LaBelle's rules, and he effectively doomed the rest of his bloodline to a premature demise. The heads of the families arrive at the Danforth Lodge and Casino. Ignacio brings his children, Felipe and Francesca, the latter who was previously engaged to Alex and therefore has it out for Grace personally. Chen Xing brings her freeloading son, Chung Fu. Madhu and Viraj arrive with Madhu's wife, Martina. They gather with the captive sisters and are joined by a man known only as the lawyer. He explains to Grace and Faith that since Grace survived hide-and-seek against the La Domases, the seat of power to rule over the council and various other parts of the world, she has to hide until dawn from all the families hunting her, and someone has to wear the council's ring by then, or LaBelle will be unhappy. Grace initially refuses until they threaten to kill Faith in front of her. The sisters are knocked out again and taken to a golf course where they are given a head start. Ursula and Titus cheat to give themselves an advantage. Viraj, Ignacio, and Chen Xing lead for their families, while the others watch from back at the lodge through security cameras. Ignacio tries to shoot them with a sniper rifle but misses and nearly blows up Viraj when the sisters trick him into shooting a propane tank. But he survives while Grace gets chunks of debris in her skin. The twins try to shoot the sisters, but they run through the woods to escape their sight. Grace and Faith run into a building where Viraj follows them. They find a bandsaw and cut their handcuffs free, but Viraj hears the noise. They get the drop on him and throw him into an industrial-sized washing machine. Grace hits the sanitized switch and effectively boils Viraj alive until he stops screaming. In the casino, Grace and Faith try to hide out, while also picking out the debris from Grace's body. The sisters start to chat again, opening up about how Faith felt abandoned by Grace when she moved to New York without her. They are found by Chen Xing, who offers them a way out of this via a loophole her lawyers found. If Grace agrees to marry Chung Fu, the wands will rise to the seat of power, and Grace can live and not even have to live with him as spouses. Grace refuses on the basis of not wanting to be part of a devil cult. Ignacio finds them and tries to shoot the sisters, but Grace takes Chen Xing's hand holding a sword and runs it through Ignacio's throat. Since the rules prohibits the competing families from killing each other, even accidentally, the Wan's entire bloodline is doomed, and Chen Xing explodes. Everyone back at the lodge anxiously waits for an unsuspecting Chung Fu to go next, and he soon becomes Chunks as well. Grace and Faith try to call 911, but are intercepted by Ursula and Titus. They tell the sisters to go to the front gates, but they figured out the twins' trickery beforehand. When Faith threatens to kill Titus with Chen Xing's sword, Ursula says she doesn't care. A momentary distraction causes the twins to turn the tables until they see Martina driving towards them. It looks like she's going to run Grace over, but instead bursts through the front gates and gets as far away as she can. This allows Grace and Faith to run, even though Grace was giving Faith a chance to get away herself. Grace gets ambushed by Francesca, while Faith is brutally attacked by Titus. Grace and Francesca mace each other in the face, blinding them temporarily, but Grace is able to knock Francesca out with a keyboard. Ursula stops Titus from killing Faith and uses her as bait to lure Grace to them. They tell her where to find them, and Grace finds a rifle and some ammo. Francesca tries to attack again, only for Grace to blast her to death. She goes to confront Ursula and Titus by following Faith's voice. When the twins go after Grace, she locks herself in another room until Titus holds a gun at Faith's head in front of Grace. At the last second, Grace offers Titus a marriage proposal so that he can go ahead and claim his position of power, and Grace can live. Titus accepts the offer. The sisters are cleaned up and prepared for the wedding. The remaining family members gather for the wedding, with the lawyer officiating. After Grace and Titus are married, he forcefully takes the ring to claim his power. And then Grace grabs a nearby dagger and stabs Titus in the neck repeatedly, since, as he pointed out when he killed Ursula, there's no rule against killing your own family. Grace takes the ring from him, and Faith kicks him into a pit of corpses. Grace's first and final act as head of the council is to remove herself from their organization altogether, since she refuses to spend the rest of her life killing innocent people. She tosses the ring into the pit, leading the remaining council members, minus the lawyer, to frantically jump in and start killing each other to wear the ring. Dawn arrives and time runs out, leading to some of the cultists to explode one by one until they all just burst into an enormous, gory explosion. The lawyer lets them go free. Grace also takes a goat that they were going to sacrifice. As the sisters and the goat make their way out of the gate, they decide to reconcile for good and restart their relationship for the better.